A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first snippet goes with Bihar elections. Here you can see Bihar Assembly polls phase 1, November 6th phase 1, November 11th phase 2. It's about that. And here you can see the map shows the constituencies that will be voting in the first phase of the Bihar Assembly election today. Counting will take place on November 14th. It's all about Bihar elections, the first phase. Nothing to learn as such, but being a smart learner, you have to recollect all the words that go with elections, like constituency, contest, canvass, campaign, rigging, booth capturing, EVMs, and use of technology, landslide victory, thumping majority, all these, losing the deposit. You guys know all these words, we have got many a time. Coming to the next one, data point. When you see the word data, again, many of our students know datum singular, data plural. And data as a plural of datum takes a plural verb, but data is also used as a collective noun. Then it takes a singular verb. No need to get confused. Either way, it is acceptable. Can Congress lose its weak link? A lose is a verb. A lose, lost, lost. We have another lose, L-O-O-S-C, which is an adjective, opposite of tight, and LOSS, loss, noun, opposite of profit. All these you have to recollect quickly. Can Congress lose its weak link tag in Bihar? Tag is something that comes at the end, and you all know an important exam topic, question tags. But when you go to a shop, you want to buy a dress, a shirt, or a t-shirt, or a dress, you see the price tag. Here, tag means a name. Every language has a tag. French language is known as the most romantic language. English is known as the most polite language. Very good, Vishnu. English, what is the tag that English has got? The most polite language, and there's a concept called English gentleman. Another tag, English is also known as a combinational language. There are collocations one has to learn. It had the lowest strike rate vote share in 2020. It had, which tense is that? Past tense. Have, had. Very important helping verb or model, you have to remember. It has different meanings. Three meanings. One meaning of have or has. One is eat, the other one drink, and the third one possess. People make a mistake when it comes to possession. I'm having my breakfast means I'm eating my breakfast. I'm having coffee, I'm drinking coffee. Based on these two patterns, a lot of people tend to say, I'm having a sister. That is not practically possible, not advisable also. We cannot use ing form when it comes to possession. What are we supposed to say? I have a sister, I have a brother. Never use the ing form. That you have to recollect. And many students think, I had my breakfast before I came here. A lot of students think something is wrong. I had. Nothing wrong. It is past perfect, perfect, grammatically speaking. I have my breakfast at 7 every morning, present tense. I had my breakfast at 7 yesterday, past tense. I have already had my breakfast, present perfect. I had my breakfast before I came here, past perfect. All the four you have to know, all the four are correct. Coming to the next one, Brazil president writes, what does he write? COP30 and the moment of truth. Moment, a particular time, moment of truth. Movement, that is different. Moment, at the time of speaking, a different meaning altogether. Coming to the main headline of today's paper, the Hindu paper, EC complicit in Haryana vote theft, Rahul. There is one word here which is important: complicit. Complicit means to be involved in something negative or involved in something illegal. You are involved in some crime. Then we use the word complicit. And imagine there's a partner in crime. We use the word accomplice. Accomplice means what? Partner in crime. Important word. And he has been saying the same thing for quite some time. Vote theft. Who says that? Rahul Gandhi. Coming to the next one, Ukrainian troops encircled should surrender Russia. Encircle means to cover. And based on that, Russia says the Ukrainian soldiers, they have to surrender. When you see the word surrender, you have to think of the word yield. Yield has two different meanings. One meaning, it means produce, goes with agriculture, yield for this year. But another meaning here, yield also means to surrender. But there's one important phrasal verb, give in. Give in means to surrender or to yield. And there's another phrasal verb, give up. Give up means to stop trying. I always tell students while preparing for competitive exams, always remember, give up also means to quit. Based on that, a popular quote: winners never quit, quitters never win. That you should always remember while preparing for competitive exams. Coming to the next one, Sikh relic, an important word. Relic, something that belongs to the past, something that has got significance. And here, Sikh relic returns to partner after a gap of 300 years. That is pretty long. After a gap of 300 years, a particular relic, something that symbolizes religion or culture and belongs to the past, it returned after 300 years. Coming to the next one, stubble burning. You all know stubble burning, a major problem for Delhi. Stubble burning area in Punjab dips in 3 districts. But Delhi pollution, stubble burning is one of the reasons. We have other reasons, other sources like vehicular pollution and also smog. We have stubble burning. And recently have done an editorial on the eve of Diwali and firecrackers. But that is one of the reasons, not the sole reason. Coming to Kerala prepares a legal challenge against the SAR. SAR has been in the limelight for quite some time. You all know that. I've done editorials a few times, and still it is in the limelight. Many states are not happy with SAR. Based on that, especially Tamil Nadu and Kerala, based on that, Kerala wants to go ahead and it wants to go to court, take the whole thing to court. Talks about that. Here you can see the Prime Minister champions welcome. Here we have champions, a noun, plural noun ending in the letter S. Then quickly you have to recollect the rule. When a plural noun ends in the letter S, we have to use apostrophe after the letter S, not before. Champions welcome. You can see all smiles, very happy, and the pick of cricket, women cricket players. Proud moment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the team that won the Women's ODI World Cup at his residence in New Delhi on Wednesday. Mr. Modi lauded. Laud means what? We have got many a time. The Prime Minister lauded. Laud means to appreciate, to praise. And then you have to recollect the word commendable job. What is the meaning of commendable job? Praiseworthy, something that can be appreciated. Laud someone. Lauded the players for their remarkable resilience and comeback. Another important word we have got many a time. What is the meaning of resilience? Resilient nature. Excuse me. What is the meaning of resilient nature? Withstanding difficulties or hardships and emerging victorious. When you face problems, you don't give up. You face the problems or the hardships, and eventually you emerge victorious. Then we use the word resilient nature. Being very strong, resilience and comeback. after a tough phase in the group stage. That is highly appreciable and a nice pick with the World Cup. And here Mamdani wins New York. He is first Muslim and South Asian origin mayor elect. In a way, it's a record for the first time a Muslim becoming the mayor of New York City. And quickly you have to recollect two tags that go with New York City. One, it is known as a city of skyscrapers. It is known as what? The city of skyscrapers. And the second, it is also known as Big Apple. What is Big Apple? New York City. Don't ask me, so what is Small Apple? Coming to the next one, 6 passengers killed while crossing track at UP station. Every day, something or other, something disturbing. Sometimes it goes with buses, sometimes goes with rails, railway track. And here, while crossing, 6 people got killed. Very unfortunate. 6 passengers killed while crossing track at UP station. Center's AI guidelines call for trust and safety. There's one phrasal verb I'm sure all of you know, call for. Means what? Demand for. The situation calls for immediate action. What does it mean? Calls for, demands immediate action. Coming to the next one, Chinese versities. We all know the word university. For that, we also use the word versity. Both are right. Nothing wrong with the word. Chinese versities here means Chinese universities overtake India in QS Asia rankings. It seems they have gone ahead. Not something to feel happy about. Coming to today's editorial. That's all from the front page. A lot to learn. And coming to today's editorial. Today's editorial is also an important editorial. I have brought about 10 words, important words. More words are there, in fact. And when you go through also, there's something to learn. Let us start with editorial vocabulary. And today it is a regular pattern. What is a regular pattern? Word profiles. What is a word profile? Word profile means the part of speech, meaning, example, word forms, word combinations, word usage, synonyms, antonyms. All these you have to know from the exam point of view. A lot of students, you have to recollect the rule, a university, a universal rule, a unique person, all these you have to, because they have the consonantal sound. What is the first word here? And let me tell you, today's editorial is all about bus accidents. There have happened in the recent past a few bus accidents. Based on that, the editorial has been written. First one, fatal. Part of speech adjective, causing death or disaster, deadly. Fatal accident means what? A deadly accident causing death. Example, the driver's fatal mistake means a costly mistake, deadly mistake led to a tragic accident. Word forms, fatally, adverbial form, fatality, noun form. And exam point of view, you have to know the forms, very important. And word combinations or collocations, fatal accident, fatal error, disease, injury. All these are typical combinations one has to learn and remember. You can also think of the word new student, I suppose Sanjya, lethal, very good. Lethal weapons, that's a different combination. Synonyms, deadly, see it has been given here. But all of you remember, you may come across synonyms, antonyms, especially synonyms. Especially synonyms, you cannot take things for granted. Based on the context, you have to use the appropriate synonym. We cannot use the way we like based on our whims and fancies. That doesn't work with English. Deadly, lethal, mortal, disastrous. Antonyms, harmless, safe, non-lethal, simple words. Next one, overhaul. I'm sure many of you know. Part of speech, verb. It can be a noun, meaning to examine something thoroughly and repair or improve it. A complete examination and repair. Example, the government must overhaul the licensing system. Word forms, overhaul, it's a regular verb, overhauling, verb forms. Word combinations, policy overhaul, system overhaul, complete. And I'm sure many of you know the synonyms. What are the synonyms? Revamp, reform, renovate, restructure. A renovation, a revamp, these words you have to remember. Insight means a deep understanding. No doubt you can think of that word. Antonyms, neglect, damage, destroy. Coming to the next word, disgraceful. Graceful, a positive word. And what is opposite? Disgraceful. Part of speech adjective, meaning very bad or unacceptable, bringing shame or dishonor. Something is disgraceful means what? Rejuvenate. Very good. Naidu. Means disgraceful, something that brings bad name or not acceptable, bringing shame or dishonor. The country's road safety record is truly disgraceful. Frequent accidents, loss of innocent lives, and no response, no responsibility. Systems are not in place. Entire system has to be touched, and then it's like a disgrace. Word forms, disgracefully, adverb, disgrace, noun or verb. Word combinations, disgraceful act. It also goes with behavior, condition. See here, behavior. A typical combination. Synonyms, shameful, scandalous, deplorable, dishonorable. When you come across synonyms or antonyms, a few may be familiar and easy, a few may be important, new. You have to focus on those. Here, scandalous, rather easy, but deplorable conditions, deplorable situation, that you have to remember. Antonyms, admirable, honorable, praiseworthy. You can also think of the word commendable. All these words we have got many a time, they should be at your fingertips. Swerve, this is a new word. This you have to remember. Part of speech verb, meaning to change direction suddenly, especially to avoid hitting something. You're driving straight, something comes in your way, suddenly you try to change the direction, then we should use this word swerve. A new word you have to remember. The truck swerved to avoid a pothole. You all know potholes. A hole in the middle of the road, we use the word pothole. But during rainy season, what happens? The same hole gets filled with water, and becomes, and becomes bigger. Then we use the word puddle. What is the word we use then? Puddle. You got to know the difference between pothole and puddle. Pothole is small without water. A bigger one with water, filled with water, we use the word puddle. Word forms, swerved, swerving. It's a regular verb. Word combinations, swerve sharply, swerve to avoid, and sudden. Generally, we use the word sudden. Swerve suddenly, abruptly. What is the other word for sudden? He stopped the session suddenly. You can also say he stopped the session abruptly. Abrupt is an important word. Synonyms, veer, turn, curve, deviate. You have to remember this one. Other words are easy words. Antonyms, stay, continue, go straight. Head straight also you can say. Perfunctory, an important word. They have given many a time. Banks and SSC. Perfunctory, have you heard of this any time? An important word, do remember. Part of speech, adjective, meaning done without real interest, effort, or care. But one simple word, perfunctory, means superficial. What does it mean? Superficial. You have heard of that? Good. Example, the police carry out means to do something, execute, implement. It's a phrasal verb, carried out a perfunctory investigation into the accident. Means what? Many of you know that word, that's wonderful. Means superficial, not in the real sense. Word forms and adverbial form, perfunctorily, but generally we don't use the adverbial form, we use the adjective form. Word combinations: perfunctory check, perfunctory glance, perfunctory response, and also investigation, you can say. Synonyms: superficial, cursory, another important word, negligent, mechanical, simple words. But here in the group, you have to remember the word. He has given a cursory look, means what? A casual look, superficial, not deep into something. Antonyms: thorough, careful, diligent. Diligent has two different meanings. Generally, it goes with hard working. But diligent also means something like looking at the minutest details, something like meticulous. But usage point of view, diligent, hard working. Filter out. How many of you have heard of this? Filter out, a phrasal verb. Part of speech, obviously, phrasal verb, meaning to remove or eliminate something unwanted. Example: strict driving tests help filter out unqualified drivers. We should always filter out unqualified drivers, means eliminate, remove. Word forms: filtering out, gerund, filtered out, past form. What is a gerund? We use a verb ing form or the present participle form as a noun. Then it is called a gerund. For example, he is swimming. Here, swimming is a verb. If I say swimming is the best exercise, here swimming is a noun. Verb ing form used as a noun, then we use a technical term, gerund. Some rules are there, very important, you have to recollect. Word combinations: filter out impurities. When you make something impure, what is the word? Impure. Something like adding water to milk. The word is adulteration. You have to recollect the word adulterate. Adulterate means what? To make something impure, an important word. Filter out noise, filter out errors. Synonyms: eliminate, remove, exclude, screen out. You have to remember screen out. Antonyms: include, admit, allow. Simple words. Tailgating. I have come across this for the first time in the newspaper, that too in the editorial. Have you heard of this? Tailgating. Tailgating is very common in our country. In Western countries in the first world, it does not happen. You are supposed to maintain certain the distance, 6 feet or 10 feet, at any cost. If you violate that, then you are booked immediately. Let us see. I don't think for the first time. Tailgating, part of speech, noun or verb, gerund, meaning driving too closely behind another vehicle. Here in our country, you see it is like bumper to bumper. We have one expression in English: bumper to bumper means what? Very close. For that, tailgating. Example: tailgating is a major cause of rear end collisions. Rear means back, rear view mirror, rear end collisions. They don't maintain the required distance, and the one in front suddenly applies brake. Then it results in this rear end collision. Very common, it seems. Word forms: tailgate, tailgater, noun. This is also a new word form. Word combinations: tailgating accident, aggressive tailgating, prevent tailgating. In our country, people are not very particular about maintaining that distance, but Western countries are very particular. Honking also very particular. Blow the horn. Here people do it, but Western countries, you are not supposed to. Only if the situation demands you should. Otherwise, honking is considered something very rude and not at all acceptable. Synonyms: following closely, close pursuit, crowding. Not exactly in this context. Antonyms: maintaining distance, spacing out. Spaced out means enough gap is there. The next word, arbitrary. We have got a few times, but an important word. Arbitrary means what? Taking decisions based on whims and fancies, not based on reasoning or rationality. Part of speech, adjective, meaning based on personal whim or random choice, not reason or system. Arbitrary lane changes often cause road accidents. Suddenly, someone changes a lane without giving the indicator. Obviously, accident becomes inevitable, unavoidable. Word forms arbitrarily, adverbial form, we do use. Arbitrariness, noun form, we do use. You have to remember. Word combinations, arbitrary decision, arbitrary action, arbitrary rules, arbitrary behavior. Usually it goes with decisions. Synonyms, random, subjective, whimsical, capricious. Subjective, objective. What does it mean? What do they mean? Subjective opinion means a personal opinion, emotional. And objective opinion means based on facts and figures. And we should never go with subjective opinions. We should always go with objective opinions. And these two words are very important: whimsical, capricious. Whimsical, based on whims and fancies. And capricious also means not stable, rather volatile, fickle minded. And there's a saying in English: nothing is more capricious than human mind. Have you heard of this any time? Because we get so many ideas, we get so many thoughts, always changing. Nothing is more capricious than human mind. There's a popular saying. You can also think of the word pavani, erratic, that's right. Eccentric, erratic, but they go with different context. Antonyms, rational, logical, systematic, planned. Now let us go to the editorial. So many words, and we have spent almost half an hour. The front page and editorial vocabulary. And to be very frank, you can relate to this because it goes with road accidents. 80% easy to understand, 20% rather challenging. Death on the move. Generally, the phrase on the move. Some people, especially marketing guys, they travel a lot. Then we say he's always on the move. Have you heard of that expression? He is always on the move. Means what? He's traveling. He travels a lot. And when someone goes around the world quite often, then we say globetrotter. That you have to recollect. Death on the move. On India's disgraceful record in fatal road accidents. Obviously. How can you? I don't know. I have nothing to say about that. Coming to road accidents are not resulting in overhaul of infrastructure and licensing. Are not resulting in means they're not doing something about that. Based on road accidents, they're not trying to overhaul the system. And they're not trying to focus on the licensing also. Obviously, when the writer says this at the outset, it is understood he is not happy with the present system. He is looking for systemic changes, means touching the entire system. Let us see how it goes. The highway accident on November 3rd, 2025, that claimed 19 lives at Chevalla near Hyderabad was far too routine to change India's disgraceful record in fatal road accidents. The writer has used very strong words: disgraceful, fatal accidents, and it is like a frequent thing. It talks about the incident. The stimulus to write this editorial was far too routine to change India's disgraceful record in fatal road accidents. How did it happen? The driver of a gravel laden, the truck was full of gravel, and it talks about the same thing. Gravel laden truck apparently, obviously swerved, means turned to avoid a pothole. Very unfortunate. Why did the driver took a sudden change in the direction? Why did he swerve? Because he wanted to avoid a pothole. And this happens, it goes with two-wheelers sometimes during rainy season. They try to avoid a pothole, and in that process they may meet with an accident. A pothole and rammed into a bus. Ram means collide. What is the impact? There were no dividers, no street lights, no signages on that stretch of National Highway 163. Usually, National Highway All these things are mandatory, they are like prerequisites, but all these are missing. No dividers, no streetlights, no signages. India's roads are a major public hazard. Here, the writer, throughout the editorial, a writer takes a categorical stand and makes blatant, very open statements against the roads and about road safety. India's roads are a major public hazard. What is the meaning of hazard? Danger. Pedestrians. Who are pedestrians? Those who walk. And footpath. You all know pavement, footpath. And sometimes these people, they don't follow the traffic rules. What do you call them? A person who does not follow while walking, not while riding, not while driving. While walking, we are supposed to follow certain rules. We are supposed to walk on the left in our country. We are supposed to cross at the zebra crossing. We have to wait for the green light. People don't follow, then we use the word jaywalker, jaywalkers. We come across jaywalkers quite often. And sometimes they become traffic police. They stop us while going, they stop and they cross the road. They play a dual role. India's roads are a major public hazard. Pedestrians, bus riders, and two-wheeler motorists form the majority of the over 400 people who die on India's roads on average. How many people, very good, Vishnu. How many people die on an average? 400. And who are the people? Two-wheeler riders, jaywalkers, and also motorists constitute two-wheeler. Bus riders also, pedestrians also, all these, the victims, usual victims. They're equivalent to a full transcontinental flight going down. The number 400, the writer says, equivalent to a transcontinental, across continents, transcontinental. You can also think of the word pan-India, pan-America, across the US, and transcontinental, different continents. Imagine a flight, transcontinental flight crashes. The usual number is about 400. It is equivalent to that one. But when it comes to a flight crash, all the entire media covers and so many lot of hype created, and they try to do a lot regarding that. Writer talks about the same thing. Flight disasters invite scrutiny, multi-agency probes, and quick remedial actions, but road accident deaths that mostly involve poorer folk. I don't know. The writer says, flight usually who flies? Rich people. Because of that, they focus more on flight crashes. On the contrary, who travels by bus? Poorer folk, means poor people. So due importance is not given. In my opinion, this is a subjective opinion of the writer. We don't know to what extent it is true. Multi-agency probes and quick remedial actions, but when it comes to road accident deaths that mostly involve poorer folk, means a folk. Folk has many meanings. You all know. Something that is traditional, folk music, folk dance, but folk also means the people. Sometimes in the past people would say, hi guys. Now there's a hi folks, means people who belong to a particular group. Poorer people trigger perfunctory probes, means what? Superficial probes, and glacial change in rules. There's one word, glacial change. I'm not going to tell the meaning because I have brought the questions. Today also we have the mini mock. There's a question about that. Remember the context. When we go to the question, try to answer based on contextual awareness. Here, trigger perfunctory probes and glacial change in rules, if any. Government documents identify human error as the most common cause. What is the reason behind these road accidents? Human error is the most, it seems, common factor, common reason. Most common cause, but deeper reasons. And the writer says other reasons are there, deeper reasons are there. What are they? Vehicular and infrastructure are unaddressed. Related to vehicles, related to infrastructure, not addressed, means not dealt with. In India, the road test for getting a driving license examines whether the person is able to handle a vehicle of certain specification, largely a skill test rather than one of his knowledge and execution of safe driving. This is a safe practices. This is a good sentence. In our country, the writer says when it comes to giving the license to drive a particular vehicle, they see only the skill. But when it comes to driving, something else is required. To what extent you can manage the second part, rather than one of his knowledge and execution of safe driving practices. Whether he can drive or not, primary question. But what is the actual question? Whether he can drive safely or not. Execution of safe driving practices very important. No safety training is mandated. It seems in our country, safety driving is not mandated. Mandatory means what? Compulsory. Most accidents are collisions from the back, whereas exemplar driving tests in other countries filter out tailgating tendencies and arbitrary lane changing. This is again very important. When you look at the accidents, many accidents in our country because of tailgating. And here we don't focus on that. But it seems in Western countries they do focus, and anyone resorts to tailgating, then they try to filter out those drivers. This is an important sentence, new information. Most accidents are collisions from the back, whereas exemplar driving tests in other countries, exemplary means what? Being a perfect example, exemplary performance. Exemplar driving tests in other countries filter out, remove tailgating tendencies, and one more, and arbitrary lane changing. Based on whims and fancies, they don't accept people to change their lanes. These two things we don't focus much in our country. The system of certifying and monitoring drivers and vehicles is broken and corrupt. Another categorical statement. The writer has used very strong language throughout the editorial. The third point categorically says the system of certifying and monitoring drivers and vehicles is broken and corrupt. For nearly all Indians, navigating RTOs is unpleasant. Because of that, the Save Life Foundation advocates license Seva Kendras on the lines of Passport Seva Kendras so that they are transparent, digitized, and ensure good driver skills and safety awareness. Here we have an organization, they try to bring in the required thing. What is it? Safety, driver skills, and safety awareness. Both are equally important. 1 in 5 accidents are head on collisions, which have happened even on 4-lane highways. They should not happen. 4-lane highways, you can't expect head on collisions. Why do they happen? Because of the violation of traffic rules. 1 in 5 accidents are head on collisions, which have happened even on 4-lane highways, indicating wrong side driving. They come in the opposite direction, that is wrong side driving, that results in head on collision. And the state of road dividers. Even the state of road dividers not proper, it seems, that also results in road accidents. In general, national highways need to adhere to. Many of our students know adhere to means what? Stick to, comply with. Indian Roads Congress guidelines, but states have made no mandates as required by the Motor Vehicles Act. No mandate, it seems, based on that, all these problems. How does it end? I think we have. Okay, this is the last end of the editorial. There are potholes, dangerous curves, drainage systems, bridge parapets. Have you heard of parapet wall? Means a short, low-level wall that goes with a balcony or a roof, or it is used for protection, parapet, low-level wall, and concrete objects, but no crash barriers or energy absorbers. We don't have crash barriers or energy absorbers. Collision risk warning devices are relatively inexpensive. It seems we have collision risk warning devices. CES noun form, SES verb form are relatively inexpensive and can be mandated on commercial vehicles, can be made compulsory on commercial vehicles. Many of these things people may not know. Better pedestrian infrastructure alone can prevent many fatalities, many accidents. Pedestrian infrastructure means the footpaths, the pavements, all these. In Hyderabad, a community health care center was available. I don't know why the writer has used the past here. It's a fact the sentence should be in present tense, but the writer has used past tense. That is very strange. All of you listen very carefully. Here we have an independent sentence about Hyderabad infrastructure. In Hyderabad, a community healthcare center was available for immediate treatment and a government hospital was not far away. But that is often not the case elsewhere. Here the writer has used present tense. Here there is no need to use not at all acceptable. This sentence we have to use present tense or past tense. Please answer. This particular sentence, do we have to use present tense or past tense? Sheer common sense, here we have to use present tense because it talks about a fact. And next one also talks about a fact. Present tense has been used. Here it should be, in Hyderabad, a community healthcare center is available for immediate treatment and a government hospital is not far away. Present tense, obviously. In states such as Bihar, fatality rates are double because of inadequate trauma care infrastructure. Trauma means a shock, emotional or physical. We use the word trauma. Inadequate trauma care infrastructure and overhaul of the road transport system is an urgent requirement in India. Immediate revamping is required and something like situation calls for that. It ends on that note. Let us go to questions based on comprehension skill. Try to answer the first one. What is the central idea of the editorial? At least one student, if one student responds, I will try to. We do come across some issues, the Hindu editorials, that's a bit strange. Fatal road accidents in India highlight systemic failure, means entire system, in road safety, licensing, and infrastructure. Three things. Answer is B. Very good. The author compares road accident fatalities to a transcontinental flight crash primarily to. The writer talks about a transcontinental flight crash to convey what? Show that air travel is safer than road travel. Emphasize that both involve similar numbers of deaths. Highlight the apathy. This is also true, but the writer wants to highlight the apathy towards road deaths despite their massive scale. Apathy means what? Not B, not B. C is the answer. Sometimes, oh, no, not at all acceptable. Almost all the students B. Emphasize that both involve similar numbers of deaths, that no need to emphasize. So what? Same number, that is not at all important. What is important here, when the same number, when it comes to deaths, death toll, same number, flight, they make hue and cry, and so many agencies get involved, they get into probing. On the contrary, same number, bus accident, they don't show so much keenness, so apathy. Answer is C. How come all of you rather surprising? Which of the following best explains the phrase, this is the question I was talking about, glacial change? You have not given the answer because of this question. I did not tell the meaning because of this question. Try to answer. Which of the following best explains the phrase glacial change in rules as used in the passage? This is an idiomatic expression you can guess, provided you know something about glacial movement. What is a glacier? Thin sheet of ice. It moves very slowly, invisible to a naked eye, and when it comes across a slope, it falls down with a lot of force. That is known as avalanche. Let us see. Change that is extremely slow and ineffective. See, wonderful. I appreciate. Extremely slow, wonderful, highly appreciable. Coming to the next one, safety awareness, digital licensing, real-time monitoring of drivers' performance. What is the answer? Looks like we have a technical problem. Question number 4, an important question. Very good. Kavya, first one, and Sukesh also. A candidate's ability to drive a particular vehicle mechanically. I always tell students, some students they write whatever I teach, they write mechanically. I tell them, if you write mechanically, it is sheer waste of time. While learning, you have to listen, write, simultaneously you have to think, process the information. That is very important. Very good. This is also a challenging question. Which of the following is not mentioned as a cause or indicator of India's unsafe roads? The writer has listed out a few reasons, but which one has not been mentioned? Wild goose chase, Sai Ganesh. That's right. Very good. Wrong side driving, absence of dividers mentioned. Inadequate crash barriers and warning systems mentioned. Lack of pedestrian infrastructure mentioned. Over-regulation of the transport system, poor licensing and monitoring mentioned. So what is the answer? What has not been mentioned? D, very good. So many students have got it right. The author's tone throughout the passage can best be described as what? We are talking about road accidents. Can it be celebratory? Ridiculous. Sarcastic? No. Critical and reform oriented. The writer wants to point out the loopholes or the inadequacies, at the same time wants to talk about the remedies or solutions, reforms. Answer is C. Let us go to mini mocks. 2 questions based on error location. First one is not easy because it looks like a paragraph, not divided. You have to spot the error. Read meticulously. Democrats have swept the first major election in the US during the second term of President Donald Trump, indicating a degree of frustration with the ongoing federal government shutdown, but also signal a broader barometric downturn in the approval ratings of his administration's policies. Not easy under. Oh, you have already answered. No. Lengthy sentence. You have to spot the error. Wonderful. Vishnu, first one to respond. You got it right. Here, this goes with parallel expression, indicating a degree of frustration with the ongoing federal government shutdown, but also, here we have, but also signal, not correct. We have to use the word signaling, indicating signaling. That is parallel expression. Very good. I appreciate those who have chosen that one. Next one is rather easy. Mr. Trump has blamed the Republican setback on the fact that he was not in the ballots and on the government shutdown. This also easy in the sense you got to read meticulously. That is very important. At the Mr. Trump has blamed present perfect active voice, no problem. The Republican setback on the fact that object, on the fact that no problem. He cannot be in the ballots. We have to use a correct preposition. He was not on the ballots, not in the ballots. What is the correct preposition? On. Under pressure, not easy. And I appreciate those who have got this. I don't think, has anyone got it right? A challenging one. Fillers, Democrats' recent victories have been viewed as of public frustration with the Trump administration's handling of the economy. Here we have public frustration, means not happy with Trump's administration as a reflection, refraction, inflection, reactionary, correction. A good question. Once you know the meaning of a particular word, you will be able to choose the correct option. Very good. Here we have reflection of something, reflection of their frustration. They're not happy with the president. The next one, the prolonged government shutdown has raised questions about Mr. Trump's ability to consensus in Congress. This is a challenging question. All the 5 options have phrasal verbs, and under pressure, they confuse you. But based on contextual awareness, you can easily get the answer. It should not be a problem. Bring down is not correct. Bring about is not correct. No. Fourth one, it is not A, it is not B. No one has got it right. Here we are talking about consensus. Questions about Mr. Trump's ability to bring together, what is it? Bring together consensus in Congress. Answer is D, bring together consensus. No one has got it right. Who is this? Sukesh has got it right. Here we have a phrase, help the party to secure. The Democrats' victories are expected to help the party to secure 5 additional seats. Phrase replacement. Many students can, you got it right. Many students, those who remember causative verbs, they can get this. But if you don't remember causative verbs like help, make, let, get, have, then you cannot. What is a clue for you? Help. In active voice, the causative verbs do not take the preposition to. Based on that, this is wrong. Help the party secure. Help the party secure. What is the answer? A is the answer. Good. Naidu got it right. Sukesh also. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.